At 73, George Strait finally breaks his silence on Toby Keith. George Strait was born George Harvey Strait Sr. on May 18, 1952, in Pottet, Texas, and brought up in nearby Pearl. Strait grew up surrounded by the rugged beauty of the Texas countryside and the values of small-town life. These early experiences would shape both his character and his musical identity. Growing up in a family with strong respect for tradition and hard work instilled in Strait an appreciation for legendary classic country musicians such as Hank Williams, Merle Haggard, and George Jones. This would later manifest itself in the candid honesty and emotional depth of his music. After high school graduation, Strait attended college for a brief period before he signed up with the United States Army, where he honorably served and was sent to Hawaii. It was while in the Army that Strait began to develop a taste for performing, and this he did with an Army-sponsored band called Ramblin' Country. Not only did this experience contribute to honing his stage presence, but it also imbued him with a discipline and doggedness that would become important in the cutthroat world of country music. Following his military service, Strait returned to Texas and resumed his studies at Southwest Texas State University, now Texas State University, in San Marcos, where he earned a degree in agriculture, further demonstrating his deep connection to the land and rural life. In 1981, Strait's musical career took a quantum leap with his single Unwound, which quickly made its way up the country charts and announced the arrival of a new traditionalist voice in an increasingly pop-oriented country landscape. His first album, Strait Country, initiated a long and storied career defined by loyalty to the genre's roots. Over the ensuing decades, Strait would go on to release more than 30 studio albums, each one imbued with his signature blend of twangy vocals, heartfelt lyrics, and simple yet emotionally resonant arrangements. Songs like Amarillo by Morning, The Chair, Oceanfront Property, Carrying Your Love With Me, and I Cross My Heart became not just hits, but enduring classics of American music. Strait's career achievements are the stuff of legend. With 60 #1 hits on the Billboard country charts, he holds a record for the most #1 singles by any artist in any genre, a testament to his unbelievable consistency and broad appeal. He has sold over 100 million records worldwide, won numerous Grammy Awards, and was named multiple times as CMA Entertainer of the Year. In 2006, he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, where he will forever be enshrined as a timeless icon. Against the backdrop of such monumental success, Strait remained refreshingly humble and down-to-earth, famously eschewing the Hollywood-style lifestyle that typically accompanies superstardom. He rarely gave interviews, stayed out of tabloid headlines, and let his music do most of the talking, a rare and admirable quality in the modern entertainment world. In addition to his musical success, Strait has been recognized for his numerous awards and accolades during his career. A multiple-time winner of the Country Music Association, CMA, and Academy of Country Music, ACM, awards, including prestigious titles like Entertainer of the Year and Male Vocalist of the Year, he was enshrined in the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2006, a fitting tribute for a man who had already made his mark on the genre. The Cowboy Rides Away is the name given to George Strait's farewell tour, which he launched in 2013. He finished a record-breaking final concert in Arlington, Texas, with over 100,000 fans attending. It bolstered his position as one of the pantheon of towering figures in live performance. In 2014, Strait wrapped his final national tour, the Cowboy Rides Away Tour, with a record-breaking farewell concert at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, with more than 104,000 fans filling the venue for him, the largest indoor concert in North American history. It was collectively framed as a retirement from full-time touring, but Strait has since kept busy playing select shows and remains a presence in the country music world, mostly through Las Vegas and Texas residencies, along with other special appearances. His post-tour work also includes charitable endeavors and mentoring young artists, as he has continued to serve as a bridge between generations. The impact George Strait has on country music is simply immeasurable. Not only did he truly preserve the traditional roots of the genre, but he also modernized those traditions enough to keep the music fresh, relevant, and loved by so many. Through it all, he remained true to himself, eschewing trends, sticking to a pure country sound, and never compromising his values or musical integrity. His influence can be heard in the work of countless contemporary country stars, from Garth Brooks and Alan Jackson to Chris Stapleton and Cody Johnson. In December 1971, George Strait took a bold and deeply personal step that would define the foundation of his lifelong love story. He eloped to Mexico with his high school sweetheart, Norma Voss. Their relationship blossomed during their teenage years in Poteet, Texas. And even though challenges often come with young romance, George and Norma shared a rare, enduring bond. Marrying across the border spoke volumes about both their independent spirit and their desire to commit to one another without fanfare or outside interference. That quiet, sincere beginning set the tone for a marriage that would span more than 5 decades, a rarity within both country music and the entertainment world at large. Through the years, George Strait has often recognized Norma as the steady, grounding presence in his life, one who has stood by him through every triumph and every hardship, guiding him through the pressures of fame with both grace and humility. Their family life began soon after their marriage with the birth of their first child, a daughter named Jennifer Lynn Strait, on October 6, 1972. Jennifer was the pride and joy of the Strait household, a bright-spirited young girl who brought a great deal of happiness and laughter into their lives. As George's career in country music began to take shape in the early 1980s, he still made time for his role as a devoted father. He spoke very fondly of how much he enjoyed being home with Jennifer and Norma, finding balance between his rising fame and his responsibilities as a family man. Jennifer's presence during those foundational years added a sense of normalcy to their lives, even as George transitioned from a young singer to a major recording artist. Their family grew again almost a decade later when George and Norma welcomed their second child, a son named George Harvey Strait Jr. on May 14, 1981. Affectionately known as Bubba, he would become not only George's only son, but also a close friend and kindred spirit. Growing up in the Strait household, Bubba was instilled with strong values: hard work, respect, humility, and a love for traditional Texas culture. While his father was a megastar in the country music scene, Bubba chose a path that fit more with the rugged, authentic roots of Texas, the world of rodeo. He eventually attended Texas A&M University, a school rich in tradition and pride, and earned his degree while also immersing himself in competitive rodeo. Bubba would go on to become a team roper within the PRCA, earning his respect in his own right, not just as George Strait's son, but as a highly talented and disciplined cowboy. When 13-year-old Jennifer died on June 25, 1986, in a car accident in San Marcos, Texas, the Strait family was forever changed. It was a loss so tremendous, so personal, one that shook the very core of the entire family. George, who has always seemed to be contentedly in the background, retreated even further from the public eye. He gave few, if any, interviews for many years, choosing to keep his grief private. George and Norma established the Jennifer Lynn Strait Foundation in memory of their beloved daughter. The Jennifer Lynn Strait Foundation is a charitable organization that advocates for children in need. Located in the San Antonio area, it continues to donate to children's charities, including organizations focused on education, health, and the arts, in memory of Jennifer. It is a living, breathing tribute to her life, one through which the Straits have worked to transform their pain into purpose, giving back to the community and honoring the joy their daughter brought to the world. As the years went on, George took great pride in watching Bubba grow into a talented and well-rounded young man. In 2006, Strait experienced a proud and emotional moment when he was able to watch his son compete at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, an event that holds special meaning in Texas culture. Just before taking the stage himself to perform for a massive audience of fans, George sat quietly in the stands, beaming with pride as Bubba took his turn in the arena. That image of a country music legend watching his son uphold Texas traditions in the rodeo epitomized the deep family values that run through every aspect of George Strait's life. It was not just about fame, music, or accolades. For George, life was always about faith, family, and staying